Hello there mates, my name is Bob, and here we have another development log about NightTime, the horror action first person game that I'm creating. So, well, there isn't much change to the game engine itself, but what I'm trying to do my own map format so I can add the objects to the game via actual files outside the game, so I wouldn't have to like hard code the actual terrain, the world, the object, the interaction inside the code, the actual game, because it's messy and stuff. And I'd be able to like change it without compiling it and just taking time and that sort of stuff. So what I did, I started working on a map editor as well as the game engine. It is in C++, OpenGL, and yeah. So as you maybe see here, I can move around around one point, around the center, and I use middle mouse click button. I hold it and I drag my mouse around, and I try to make it as like the controls. I try to make them as similar to Blender 3D as possible because I work with Blender 3D to create 3D models for my game. Uh, so well, I will be working with both of those programs. So I want to keep them as similar as possible, so I wouldn't have to like learn two different mechanics of how to do stuff. Whatever, it's easier that way. So we have two tabs here, two plus pads, tabs, whatever. So if you click that, it opens up that, right? Then you click that, it opens up that. So that tab does on the right, in the right side. It is a list of all the objects in the world, and remember, this editor is going to be improved. It's not the main thing yet. So we have three buttons here. This creates an empty object. This creates a static mesh, so you can collide with it. It is renderable. It has a mesh, but it's static, so it's not made to actually like interact with it or be moved. But it's like a static mesh. For example, this terrain, right? Or street lamps or whatever. So what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna create the light, and that button is for that. So you have the sun and the plus, and you click that, and it creates a object in the list and also in the world. So what it does, if it's behind something, it's drawn wireframed, but if it's actually seen in the scene, it's solid, right? So we can click on it right here. We cannot click on it in the scene view because it's hard to do that. So you can select it in the object list, and it shows all the axes. So the red stands for X, the green stands for Y, and the blue stands for Z. These are the coordinates in the world space of 3D. Yeah. So what I can do with it is the second tab, right? The left tab, that tab, whatever. So we have the location, the rotation, and the scale. In the future, there's gonna also be like the brightness, the color of the light, and that sort of other stuff, the ambient, diffuse, whatever. But for now, it's only that. So you can change actually the position of it, right? So let me create. Okay, so let me leave that. Let me create a static mesh. So for a default, it's blue, right? It uses the same way of rendering it as the light source. So what I can do with it, we can actually open it up, and apart from having these location, rotation, and scale, it has a this thing, which is actually the name of the model you can choose from the folder from the map editor. So you have to actually do is type the name. So let's see, maybe street lamp, and it loads a street lamp model from the actual files, whatever. So yeah, so it shows the axes, of course. It shows the actual visual boundaries, so the maximum space it takes, the vertices space it takes, whatever. It's the maximum space it takes. It just calculates that, and it draws it. And it's also like it can be seen through walls, so you can actually see where the object is, but it's also like rendered in the scene as well. You can also scroll out, and I didn't mention that. Scroll out and in and move your actual camera around, holding shift and dragging with the middle mouse button. So it works the same as in Blender. You can pan around with it. You can rotate around the center point. But what you can actually do that is really, really awesome, and I really love that function. Let me move that light away from here. So let me click the light, but this time a right mouse button. So what it does, it smoothly, let's say, teleports you to the actual object you click on the object list, and it centers it. It focuses on it. Let's say that, okay? If you click on that, it focuses on that. That's pretty nifty. That's actually pretty nifty. So if you like cannot find an object or something, you can just simply teleport to it whenever you want, and you don't have to select it. Just right click it. So what you can do, you actually like see the actual rotation, so you can rotate it, whatever, probably not around the axis. You can rotate it 90 degrees. It's in degrees. But you can also make it flat. I don't know if that's it. Yeah, you can also make it flat. I don't know why would you make it flat, but you can make it double the size, as you see there. Yeah, well, you can do whatever you want. In the future, you're going to be able to add materials to it, like the actual texture path, the normal map, the specular map. You're going to be able to add them in the interface, and it's going to save the map to a specific file in a specific format that I declare, and then it's going to load it up in the game, and it's going to do everything automatically. So I don't have to like hard code everything, because it looks so bad, and I most of the time do not see what I just wrote because it's so messed up. So that's a better way to do it, because it's going to have pretty complex maps, and I can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and I don't have to hard code it. So that's an elegant way to do this. So, well, empty object doesn't do anything right now. It's just an empty object. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't render or whatever. Well, that's the map editor. It's not like the map editor wouldn't have like this terrain that you see here. I can also add another static mesh and just say terrain, enter, and it's gonna just spawn the terrain on top of the terrain. So in the future you won't have like, I can't delete, it's a minus for now. I can't even say minus, and that's great. So as you see, it needs adjustments, but you won't see that terrain at the start because it's not an actual object. But I use it for like see where I am in the space for now. But if it gets better, when it gets better, it's of course going to be erased and that sort of stuff. So it's going to be free and stuff. And probably now what I'm going to try and do is just implement so you can actually delete the objects. Probably just like press delete when you select it, or like while you're in the actual like selection mode or something. You can actually see the visual boundaries of the terrain, but it cuts out because of the screen frustum. So, well, that's probably it. Yeah, so leave a comment if you like, and if you want to like criticize or tell what should I do, or if you have any questions, you can of course do that. You can like the video if you liked it. You can subscribe to not miss any other like update on the game engine, or on other projects that I make. You can also check the previous episodes and to see how we got to this point. So, well, subscribe if you can, comment, like, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.